I'm going to play a clip now from your Twitter feed of you being pepper sprayed.
Okay.
And I want the public to see this thing.
There's no sound playing, right? Because what's happening right now is I'm screaming press, and we're backing up, and they're telling us to back up, and that's where he sprays. And from my perspective, and I think from the video's perspective, everyone is backing up. You can see me backing up. You can see everybody backing up. Nobody's going forward, and then the spray just starts coming out. And I mean, he keeps spraying a couple different times.
Yeah, and one of the interesting things I found about this is, well, I would say from a police accountability perspective, I would be very interested, one, if they can find the officer that did this, and I know you have a lawsuit going on, but also, like, I'm convinced the police accountability stems from a culture within the department that doesn't let misconduct stand. Right. So,
well, Mayor Rahm Emanuel, acknowledged a code of silence, and that's been at this point acknowledged by most police leaders. And I think there's to some of that as a degree, but I think we saw from the Inspector General report that there was a lack of accountability with body cameras or with arrest reports or with mass arrest reports, and that now even afterwards, like, they're not able to find accountability for most of these places because there was no body camera or there was nothing logged in even an incident report.
Yeah, and if people go on Twitter, the links in the chats. I watched the whole thing. It's about almost 2 minutes, I think. And there's an interesting point in there. First of all, you were incredibly calm. So I kudos to that. You kept reporting. You kept talking. I don't think any other reporter in Chicago would have been that calm. And I'm going to probably point at least to some of that you had been pre-exposed to pepper spray through the military, and that you were in the military, because there's no way I would have been anywhere near that calm.
Well, I'm sure we've got some of the Chicago reporters are pretty hardcore, so I wouldn't say I'm the only one. I'm sure there's plenty of others. I know there's some guys on the street that I worked with in Kenosha who took some rubber bullets to the leg and the arm or what have you. So reporters put themselves, especially frontline shoe leather reporters, they put themselves out there. And you look at someone who doesn't have military training is up there on the front lines reporting live throughout this entire, I've got friends who were there at the Columbus statue, and some of them took batons, some of them had objects thrown at them. And so I think Chicago reporters are a different breed.
Everyone watch that video. Towards the end, getting to talk to about police accountability, I thought this was interesting. You're discussing loudly with one of the cops, like, hey, your guy's spraying the press. And I just thought it was amazing. It's like, it wasn't me, man. Like,
yeah,
hey,
I think I was
did
upset.
something wrong happen? Right. Did something wrong happen or didn't? And what are you going to do? Your job is to stop bad things from happening and stop people breaking the law. I just found his nonchalantness about, it wasn't me. I don't care what happened. On video, it rather annoyed me. As a police accountability guy, when you get that type of response, it's hard to imagine things changing.
Well, I think in any situation, when you have, if the truth is that it's just a few bad apples, but if other apples aren't speaking out against the bad apples, then I guess that what does that have you in any organization? There's a lot of code of silences in the military that have had to come tumbling down as well, because people are afraid to speak up against the few bad actors. But if you're not speaking up against bad acting, then you're participating in it to a degree.
Right. No, and that's the problem. Everyone says, well, it's a few bad apples. Well, the problem is it's the barrel not saying anything about the bad actors. Like, exactly. I don't think every Chicago cop, or even the majority of Chicago cops, are brutal or massively racist or anything. It's just that they will protect those guys to the end, no matter what they do, guys and girls, what they do. And that's the problem, is them not saying anything's the real problem. And it's hard. It's built in a culture that is long standing to not say anything.